What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at the Figma Denji slash Chainsaw Man from the anime and manga series Chainsaw Man. This is Denji in his base form, but he does come with the swappable parts to turn him into Chainsaw Man as well. The major competitor for this figure is going to be the SH Figuarts version, which came out earlier this year. If you're interested, I do have a review for that version on my channel. Here's a link to that. But to sum it up, I had a very, very strong positive feeling towards that figure. Reviewed it very well, and honestly, it's been one of my desk toys ever since then. I have not put this guy down. How does this Figma stack up? I bet everybody's wondering. And I am going to do more of a direct comparison between the two later on in the video, but just to start right off the bat, honestly, I don't think he's great. I think he could excel in a lot of areas. I was excited for the release. Obviously, I bought him in addition to the previous Figuarts release, but upon release, I have to say, and maybe I'm just comparing it to the SH Figuarts release and how well that one was received by me, or how well I enjoyed that one, this Denji is not great. Appearance-wise, I do think he's passable. I think he looks pretty okay. He's gonna probably stay as Denji in my collection. He is very clean sculpt, but I mean, kind of the most noticeable thing for me is that the sculpt is not that great when it comes to like articulation, and I've seen Figma do a much better job with suits and button-down shirts and stuff like that, so I don't know why this one is kind of a mess. Maybe it's because they were trying to give it articulation for Chainsaw Man, but it's just not working out for me. First of all, the main thing that I see here is these gappy shoulder joints, which no matter what I do, I cannot get them to look any better than that, which, okay, that's pretty passable, but still, I just still see like these massive gaps right here. Not my favorite. I also want to point out the gaps in the back. If you are going to show this figure from the back, and this is in a standing neutral pose, you're going to have this massive slash gap in the back of his back, and then whatever is going on with this weird soft plastic meant to look like his shirt is folded, but you can just tell that that is a cut straight through the sides of the figure. Honestly, not very well done, and it makes me feel like it should have swapped release dates with the Figuarts Chainsaw Man, because one of my concerns with Figuarts was that it was getting released too early. I was like, did they skip on articulation? Did they skip on kind of thinking the figure through? I guess not. I guess Figma just kind of slapped something out and decided that that was good enough, and Figuarts actually like worked through the articulation. The next thing I'm going to point out is just like, I hate when people say like the diaper on this figure, the diaper, to like refer to a large groin section, but this is just kind of unexcusable in my opinion. This soft plastic with cuts up where the pockets are, it just looks so tacky and so bad. And I've seen this done decently. I'm gonna review Monkey D. Luffy pretty soon here, and I think that while that figure does have that feature as well, and it's not my favorite, it's at least done a little bit better. These are just massive gaps, and as soon as you bring his foot up like that, you see it splits. And I just have a concern about whether or not that's going to hold up over time, whether or not that's going to actually last on this figure, like, or is my plastic going to get frozen in that state because I've kept it posed like that for a month. I think the face sculpt is fine. Sometimes I see Denji in it, sometimes I don't see Denji in it. I think some of the other face sculpts are a little more egregious, and one of them is a little bit better. To actually get into the articulation, which we have these massive gaps to allow for, that means we're going to have fantastic articulation, right? It's going to blow us out of the water. Nah. Oh, whoops. 90 degrees, pretty normal. 90 degrees on those elbows. Single jointed, hinged elbows are going to give us a little bit better than 90 degrees because of this little gap in the fabric here. So, not terrible. Hinged wrists are going to give us about, not hinged wrists, but ball jointed wrists. Give us a really great amount of articulation on the hands. The head goes pretty okay up. Very great down because of some articulation in the neck area. And then, you know, tilting is great as well. You know, you can get some decent expressions out of him as Denji. Now, for the ab crunch, because of that unsightly gash in the back, we can get barely any backward motion and an okay amount of frontward. Again, something that I would be a little bit more forgiving on a more static figure, but on somebody like Chainsaw Man, who I kind of want to see articulated like Spider-Man, not my favorite. With the hip, we have a much wider range of motion, kind of justifying these large slashes in here, because that's really good. Should tuck his shirt back in if you go that far. The legs, we kind of already showed the legs, but they will go up a good 90 degrees, bend really well, really great for some single jointed knees. And then the feet, if you'll remember in the figure arts review, I was really excited, really amped about the feet, because even though they were these big chunky boots, they had a lot of articulation, and that's just not really as much the case here. They go up, they go forward and backwards a little bit. They rock side to side a little bit, but nothing blowing me away here. Articulation is okay, and like I said, for a Chainsaw Man, I'm just a little bit disappointed, especially because like I said, we've already seen another company do it better. For the accessories, let's take a look at those. He does come with an additional 2 head sculpts. One is going to be like malicious Denji. You know, he's ready to like kill somebody. He's about to start Chainsaw Man mode. And then the other is like a goofy tongue out Denji. I think that one's really fun. And I do like posing him with that one, just in kind of a default pose, because honestly, that's what he does best. He comes with a series of hands, 2 gripping hands up at the top. Then we've got 2 open palms, 2 peace signs, and then 1 chainsaw revving hand. And I kind of want to point this one out because I really wanted to display him with this one. I just figured Chainsaw Man would be my Chainsaw Man, and this Denji would be my Denji in my collection, until SH Figure Arts also announced their Denji, and now I think this guy might end up in a box somewhere. So the main selling point with this is that he's supposed to be able to rev his engine, right? He's supposed to be able to rev and become Chainsaw Man, which I would hope that the articulation would at least allow us to get behind his tie, and it never does. I have been unable to get it into a decent spot where his arm is all the way up like it is in like the anime, and like actually touching his shirt or tie. It is always just a little bit too far away, which is fine for a shelf, like nobody's really gonna see it, right? But he's Denji, and this is like the one thing I want him to be able to do, is to hit this pose. And I can't. I twist the arm, maybe. All right, there. A very awkward angle, but that is at least touching his chest. But how great does that look on a shelf? I mean, I don't know. It hardly screams. It hardly replicates what he's able to do on the show, in my opinion. In my opinion, he should be able to have it like all the way out to here and pull it. But you get what you get, I guess. Now, Denji also, probably the best accessory that Denji comes with is going to be Pochita, my wife's favorite part of the show, and admittedly one of mine as well. Love little Pochita. Love just being able to have him on the shelf with Denji. Almost worth the price of admission here, just to have this little like Moncole sized Pochita to go with Denji. Aside from that, Denji comes with a weapon, his axe from hunting demons outside, or hunting devils outside of his Chainsaw Man form. And then finally, he comes with his accessories to turn him into Chainsaw Man. His entire head comes off, his arm pops it off the socket. So does this one. You slide in the Chainsaw Man head. It comes with the arms for each side, and we can slide those in like this. And now you have him in his Chainsaw Man form. And it looks fine. It looks fair, to be fair. It looks pretty decent. My biggest gripe, and the reason that I bought him and the other one, is because, in my opinion, Chainsaw Man needs to be covered in blood. And so the fact that this was like a non-bloody version kind of led me to grabbing the figure arts when I could as well. And then before we take a look at these arms, I do just want to point out that he comes with an alternate, this goes up and down, it hinges. I thought that was actually pretty nice. You can slide his face down out of the socket, and then you can put that one on if it decides it wants to go on. You just push it up, and now Chainsaw Man has his tongue out. The figure arts has the exact same face. And he doesn't really have any like changed articulation or anything as Chainsaw Man. But aside from that, there's really nothing else to show about him. Like changing him to Chainsaw Man doesn't really change anything. I do really like the sculpt here on the hands. I think it's very dynamic. I think that the fact that there's no seams on the actual hands and arms makes it look really good. I will give them that. But as far as like getting this man into the Chainsaw Man poses that I want, they just seem kind of boxy, like things that I could... They just seem kind of boxy, and like his foot doesn't want to balance with me here. They're not very like... They're not very fluid and very interesting. That's the thing about like Chainsaw Man, and like when I said I wanted Spider-Man like poses out of Chainsaw Man, that's the thing that I feel about Spider-Man is like Spider-Man's poses are fluid, they're natural, they look fantastic, and they look like they're in motion, and I just really can't get him to look like he's in motion. Maybe with a stand, you know, maybe I'm being... There's definitely some poses in there somewhere, but they're not all the poses that I want with Chainsaw Man. And like I said, the figure arts has been on my desk as a desk toy for like months now, and this is not a fate for this guy. I just do want to do like a little bit of a comparison. So this is the SH Figure Arts Chainsaw Man. Just for a reminder, they're about the same size. SH Figure Arts ends up looking a little bit beefier. Just a little bit, not too different. Even though we have articulation cuts all over the body, there's like very few unsightly gaps. And what the articulation cuts give us is so much more articulation, whereas like we're not getting a lot of extra articulation from these large gappy cuts. So just a reminder, like SH Figure Arts Chainsaw Man is like super posable. Oh. And we're able to get all sorts of motion out of this dude. And they're all dynamic, and they're all interesting. He's such a fun and dynamic figure, and the Figma, in my opinion, just can't even try to come close. Okay, so let's see. I just did something off the top of my head. on the desk. See how close we can get. And it's just, it's stiff. It's not fluid. It's not nice. It's not fun. It's disappointing. All right, for some size comparisons, I just went ahead and I kept out SH Figuarts Denji, and we'll be taking a look at the rest of the SH Figuarts line, because SH Figuarts has come out with Power. You can see how close in scale Power is if you want to grab her. Katana Man, you can see how big Katana Man is compared to the two of them. And then those are the only SH Figuarts figures that we have so far. I will say that Figma is releasing Power as well, and I will be doing a review on the Figma Power and comparing her to this SH Figuarts one. I have not done a review on the SH Figuarts, but maybe I will. Who knows? To compare to some other lines, here is a Mezco 112 Collector Power Ranger. Size difference here is really just a little too much in my opinion. Here is the Snail Shell Assassin. If you missed out on her, it sucks. And then Medicom, Mafex, Billy the Butcher. We'll throw in SH Figuarts Luffy as well. And that's about going to cover it. Do I recommend this figure? I do not. If you still have the opportunity to buy the SH Figuarts Chainsaw Man, I would definitely recommend getting that rather than this one. If your one holdup is that this comes with both Denji and Chainsaw Man parts, and you really want the Denji parts too, SH Figuarts is putting out a Denji version of Chainsaw Man that will have basically the exact same articulation, but have Denji parts instead. I would wager money that it's going to come with more faces and more parts than this one, than the Figma, just accounting for the Denji parts. I would wager money on that. It's going to be better articulated, and for the price of this one, which I have not said, you could buy basically Chainsaw Man and Denji from SH Figuarts. I think this one was like 12,000 yen, which is like, right now it's, I can't even think about the, what, 80, 90 bucks? Somewhere in there. The exchange rate's crazy right now. This one was about 6,000 yen. Which is going to come down to almost half of that full price. Almost half of the price of the Figma. So for the price of the Figma, you could buy SH Figuarts Denji and the SH Figuarts Chainsaw Man, and it might cost you a couple dollars more. Other than that, that's about my review. If you are interested in checking out my Chainsaw Man review for the SH Figuarts line, go ahead and check that out. That's on my channel. If you're interested in seeing reviews for Power, Katana Man, or any other Chainsaw Man figures that come out in the near future, let me know in the comments. You guys have a good one.